What if everything you've been taught about money is merely the surface of a deeper truth? What if behind every transaction, every gain, every loss, there exists an invisible current, a force that responds not to your actions, but to the frequency at which you vibrate? Consider this. Two people can follow the same strategy, invest the same hours, speak the same words. Yet one ascends while the other stagnates. The difference isn't luck, it isn't timing. It's something far more fundamental, something that operates beneath the realm of logic and spreadsheets. Money, in its essence, is frozen energy. It flows like water, seeking channels that resonate with its nature. But here's what they never tell you. It doesn't respond to desperation. It doesn't answer to force. It moves toward alignment, toward those who have learned to vibrate at the frequency of abundance itself. You've felt it before. Those moments when opportunity arrived without effort, when the right person appeared, when doors opened as if guided by an unseen hand. That wasn't coincidence. That was the hidden law at work, responding to something within you that had momentarily aligned with the current of prosperity. Most people spend their entire lives pushing against this current, wondering why success feels like swimming upstream. They work harder, strategize longer, yet the results remain stubbornly out of reach. The truth is simpler and more profound than any of them suspect. It's hidden in plain sight. The universe operates on principles of resonance. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, sends out a signal into the field of infinite possibility. Money, being energy in material form, responds to these signals with mathematical precision. Your bank account is not a measure of your worth. It's a mirror of your vibration. This is the beginning of understanding. This is where everything you thought you knew begins to dissolve, revealing something far more powerful underneath. The hidden law has always been operating in your life. The only question is whether you'll now learn to work with it consciously, or continue to resist it unknowingly. There exists a dimension of reality that most people never perceive. It's not mystical or supernatural. It's as real as gravity, as measurable as light. Within this dimension, everything vibrates. Your body vibrates. Your thoughts vibrate. Money vibrates. And like attracts like with unwavering consistency. When you look at your financial situation today, you're not seeing the result of circumstances. You're seeing the perfect reflection of your internal frequency over time. Every fear about scarcity, every belief in limitation, every moment of feeling unworthy has been broadcasting a signal that the universe has answered with absolute fidelity. This is why affirmations alone fail. This is why vision boards collect dust. This is why positive thinking without inner transformation creates nothing but frustration. Because the universe doesn't respond to what you say or visualize, it responds to what you emanate from the core of your being. Your emotional body is an antenna, constantly transmitting and receiving. When you feel anxious about bills, you're tuning into the frequency of lack. When you feel resentful of others' non-success, you're aligning with the vibration of separation. The external world simply reflects back what you're broadcasting with ruthless accuracy. But here's where it gets interesting. You can change the station. You can consciously shift your frequency, not through denial or pretense, but through genuine transformation of your inner landscape. This is the secret that separates those who break through from those who remain trapped in cycles of struggle. The wealthy understand something fundamental that others miss. Their relationship with money isn't transactional, it's energetic. They don't chase it. They become a magnet for it. They don't fear its loss. They trust in its natural flow. This isn't privilege or luck. It's alignment with the hidden law. Every millionaire, every person who has transcended financial struggle, has learned to maintain a frequency that wealth recognizes. They might not use these words. They might not even be conscious of what they're doing. But somewhere along the way, they stopped vibrating at the frequency of need and started resonating with abundance. Every dollar you've ever received came wrapped in an emotion. Every dollar you've lost carried an emotional charge. Money is never neutral. It's always colored by the feeling state of the person holding it. And here's the revelation. Money multiplies in the presence of certain emotions and evaporates in the presence of others. Think about the last time you received unexpected money. What were you feeling in the days before it arrived? Not what you were thinking. What were you feeling? There's a specific emotional signature that precedes financial increase, and it's not what most people imagine. It's not excitement, because excitement contains anxiety. It's not hope, because hope implies doubt. The emotion that attracts wealth is something closer to peaceful certainty. It's the feeling of already having, even when you don't. It's gratitude in advance. It's the vibration of sufficiency that paradoxically creates overflow. This is the frequency you must learn to embody. Contrast this with the emotional signature of lack. It feels like tightness in your chest when bills arrive. It sounds like that voice saying, "I can't afford it," even when you can. It looks like checking your bank balance with dread instead of curiosity. These aren't just uncomfortable feelings. They're powerful transmissions that shape your financial reality. The hidden law operates through emotional mathematics. Fear minus trust equals contraction. Gratitude plus ease equals expansion. You can't fake these equations. Your subconscious mind knows the truth of what you feel, and it's your subconscious that's in conversation with the field of infinite possibility. This is why lottery winners often return to poverty. They received the money, but their emotional signature never changed. They were still vibrating at the frequency of scarcity underneath the temporary abundance. The universe, following its immutable laws, simply restored equilibrium. The money went to where it was energetically matched. Your work, then, is not to acquire money but to become the kind of person who naturally maintains the emotional signature of wealth. Not arrogance, not greed, but a calm, centered certainty that abundance is your natural state, and money is simply one form that abundance takes in your life. Beneath your conscious thoughts lies a structure, an architecture of belief built over decades. Every experience with money, every message from parents, every observation of how the world works has created a blueprint that now runs automatically, shaping your reality without your awareness. This blueprint contains rules you never agreed to. Money is hard to earn. Rich people are selfish. I'm not the type who gets lucky. There's never enough. These aren't truths. They're programs, and they're running your financial life like software runs a computer. Most people never examine these programs. They simply obey them. The hidden law doesn't care whether your beliefs are true or false. It simply manifests whatever you've accepted as real. If you believe at a deep level that money is scarce, your life will provide endless evidence of scarcity. If you believe you're destined to struggle, struggle will follow you like a shadow. The universe is always saying yes to your beliefs. But here's what changes everything. Beliefs are not permanent. They're not hardwired into your DNA. They're simply thoughts you've repeated so many times that they've calcified into seeming facts. And just as they were built, they can be rebuilt. The architecture can be redesigned from the foundation up. This requires more than positive thinking. It demands archaeological work, digging into the foundations of your belief system and examining what you find there. Where did you first learn that money was difficult? Who taught you that wanting wealth was somehow wrong? What early experiences convinced you that you weren't deserving? Every limiting belief about money is protecting you from something, usually disappointment or judgment. Your subconscious thinks it's keeping you safe by lowering your expectations. But safety and growth cannot coexist. The hidden law rewards those brave enough to question everything they've been taught and build new structures based on truth. The reconstruction begins with awareness. You cannot change what you cannot see. Start noticing the automatic thoughts that arise around money. Write them down. Examine them. Ask, is this actually true? Or is this just a story I inherited? This simple practice begins to loosen the grip of old programming. There's a frequency that determines everything, and most people don't even know it exists. It's not the frequency of wanting. It's not the frequency of needing. It's the frequency of deserving. And until you tune into it, every other effort is merely noise. This is the frequency that unlocks everything. Deserving isn't about arrogance or entitlement. It's about the quiet certainty that you belong in the presence of abundance. It's the absence of guilt when you receive. It's the feeling that wealth flowing to you is natural, not exceptional. This frequency is what separates those who manifest consistently from those who get occasional results. You can spot someone vibrating at the frequency of deserving instantly. They don't apologize for their prices. They don't shrink when discussing money. They receive compliments without deflection. They expect good things not because they're special, but because they've internalized that good things are simply part of life's natural flow. Most people carry invisible weights that lower their frequency of deserving: shame about past mistakes, guilt about having more than others, fear of being seen as greedy, belief that suffering is somehow more noble than ease. Each of these weights creates resistance in the field, making it nearly impossible for abundance to reach you. The hidden law operates through a principle of energetic equivalence. You will receive from the world what you believe you're worth, not what you say you're worth, but what you feel at a cellular level. Your nervous system knows the truth, and it broadcasts that truth into every interaction, every opportunity, every potential breakthrough. Raising your frequency of deserving isn't about convincing yourself you're better than others. It's about releasing the false humility that masquerades as virtue but is actually just fear. It's about recognizing that your receiving doesn't diminish anyone else. Abundance is infinite, and your alignment with it actually raises the frequency for everyone around you. This is perhaps the most important realization. You're not taking from a limited pie when you prosper. You're demonstrating what's possible. You're proving that the hidden law works. You're becoming a beacon that helps others find their way to their own abundance. Your wealth serves the world when it comes from alignment. Where you place your attention, energy flows. This isn't metaphor, it's mechanism. Your attention is the most powerful tool you possess, more valuable than any skill or strategy, because whatever receives your sustained focus begins to expand in your reality, growing from possibility into manifestation through the sheer force of your awareness. Notice where your attention naturally drifts throughout the day. Are you focused on what's missing or what's present? Are you replaying financial fears or imagining abundance? Are you consuming stories of scarcity or studying examples of breakthrough? Every moment of attention is a vote for the reality you want to experience. You're voting constantly. The hidden law responds to attention with precision. When you obsess over debt, you're feeding energy to debt, and it grows stronger in your experience. When you celebrate small wins, you're feeding energy to success, and it multiplies. This is why gratitude is so powerful. Not because it's positive thinking, but because it directs attention toward what's working. Most people's attention is hijacked by fear. They check their bank account with anxiety, scroll through news of economic collapse, compare themselves to others, and come up lacking. Each of these attention patterns is a command to the universe: more of this, please. And the universe, being perfectly responsive, obliges without hesitation. Reclaiming your attention is the first step in reclaiming your power. This means becoming ruthlessly selective about what you allow into your consciousness. It means turning away from drama, from doom scrolling, from conversations that drain rather than elevate. It means protecting your mental and emotional space like the sacred territory it is. When you master your attention, you master your energy. When you master your energy, you align with the hidden law. And when you align with the hidden law, money ceases to be something you chase and becomes something that finds you. This is the alchemy, transforming scattered focus into concentrated power and watching your external reality reorganize itself to match. The practice is simple but not easy. Throughout your day, catch yourself when attention wanders into fear or lack. Don't judge it, simply notice, and gently redirect towards something that feels like expansion, possibility, or gratitude. This small practice, repeated consistently, rewrites your entire reality over time. There's a paradox at the heart of the hidden law that confounds the logical mind. The more tightly you grip, the faster abundance slips through your fingers. The more you chase, the faster it runs. True wealth comes not through acquisition, but through a profound letting go. This is the initiation that most people never complete. This doesn't mean passivity or resignation. It means releasing the desperate need for a specific outcome. It means doing your part, taking action, making offers, showing up, but without the energetic clench of attachment. It's the difference between fishing with a tight line that snaps and fishing with the right tension that catches effortlessly. Most people's relationship with money is characterized by grasping. They hold on to what they have out of fear. They count every penny with anxiety. They make decisions from scarcity rather than strategy. This grasping energy creates a field of constriction that wealth cannot penetrate. Abundance requires spaciousness to enter your life. The initiation of letting go asks you to trust something bigger than your control, to spend when fear says save, to give when logic says hoard, to invest in yourself when prudence says wait. Not recklessly, but from a place of knowing that the universe responds to generosity with multiplication. This is the test that reveals your true level of trust. Every wealthy person has a story of a pivotal moment when they let go, of a secure job, of others' approval, of the need to know how it would work out. That moment of release created an opening, and through that opening, new possibilities rushed in. This is the hidden law demonstrating its principle. What you release with trust returns to you magnified. Letting go is particularly difficult with money because money represents survival in our society. But here's the truth. Your real security doesn't come from the numbers in your account. It comes from your alignment with the source of all abundance. When you know, truly know that you're supported by something infinite, the grip of fear finally loosens. This is where faith meets physics. This is where trust becomes tangible. The moment you genuinely let go, the universe can finally deliver what it's been trying to give you all along. But it can't hand you anything while your fists are clenched. Open your hands. Open your heart. Let the current carry you. Understanding the hidden law doesn't mean sitting back and waiting for money to appear. It means taking inspired action from an elevated state. There's a quality to action that determines its effectiveness, and that quality is invisible to most people. It's the resonance of the action, the frequency from which it originates. This makes all the difference. Action taken from fear creates exhausting effort and minimal results. You've experienced this. Working harder and harder but seeing diminishing returns, pushing, forcing, grinding, wondering why the universe seems to be working against you. This isn't about the actions themselves, it's about the energetic quality behind them. The what matters less than the from where. Action taken from alignment feels different. It has a sense of flow, of rightness, of doors opening easily. The same task performed from this frequency produces exponentially better results. Not because you're working harder, but because you're in resonance with the hidden law, and your actions are amplified by forces beyond your individual will. The question isn't, what should I do? The question is, what state should I do it from? When you act from desperation, you attract desperate circumstances. When you act from confidence, you attract opportunities that match that confidence. The universe reads your energetic signature, not your business plan. It responds to what you are, not what you do. This is why some people make money effortlessly while others struggle despite superior skills. It's not about what they're doing. It's about the frequency they're broadcasting while they do it. One person makes a sales call from fear of rejection. Another makes the same call from genuine excitement to serve. The results are incomparable in both quality and quantity. Inspired action has a specific feeling. It comes with energy rather than depleting it. It feels like expansion rather than contraction. It often makes no logical sense but carries a deep knowing. Learning to recognize and follow this feeling is how you partner with the hidden law rather than work against it. This is the alignment point. Before you take any significant action around money, pause. Check your state. Are you acting from fear or from trust? From scarcity or from sufficiency? Adjust your frequency first, then act. This simple practice transforms everything. Your actions become prayers, and prayers spoken from alignment are always answered. Everything you've learned here converges at a single point, this present moment, not tomorrow when you've done more work on yourself. Not next week when circumstances improve. Right now, exactly as you are, you have access to the frequency of abundance. The question is, will you claim it? Will you step into it now? Integration isn't about perfection. You don't need to maintain a high vibration every second or never feel fear again. Integration is about catching yourself when you slip into old patterns and consciously choosing to shift. It's about shortening the time between falling out of alignment and returning to it. Progress, not perfection, is the path. This moment, right now, is your point of power. The past has no hold except the meaning you give it. The future has no form except the energy you feed it. Everything is determined by the frequency you choose to embody in this breath, this heartbeat, this decision. The power has always been here in the eternal now. Start simple. Notice what you're feeling. Is it expansive or contractive? Are you flowing or forcing? Are you trusting or fearing? No judgment, just awareness. Then, if you're out of alignment, make the smallest adjustment. Soften your shoulders. Take a deeper breath. Remember one thing you're grateful for. Small shifts accumulate into transformation. The hidden law doesn't require dramatic gestures. It responds to consistency of frequency more than intensity of effort. A slight shift maintained over time creates more change than a huge shift that you can't sustain. This is the practical path. Moment-by-moment choices that gradually elevate your baseline vibration until abundance becomes your default state. You're not trying to become someone different. You're removing the layers of conditioning that have covered your natural state of abundance. Underneath all the limiting beliefs and inherited fears, there's a version of you that knows, that has always known, that you're worthy, that you're supported, that wealth is your birthright. Integration is coming home to that knowing. It's remembering what you forgot. It's reclaiming what was always yours. The hidden law has been waiting for you to align with it, to recognize it, to consciously work with it. That recognition begins now. That alignment begins now. Your new financial reality begins now. You have reached the end of this transmission, but truly, you are standing at a beginning. You are standing at the precipice of a new reality, looking over the edge of everything you have known into the vast potential of everything you could be. It is a fragile moment. Most people reach this point, feel a temporary surge of hope, and then slowly retreat back into the comfort of their familiar struggles because the unknown, even when it promises paradise, feels dangerous to the primitive mind. Do not let that be you. Everything shared here is worthless unless it moves from information into embodiment. Knowledge acts as a map, but a map is not the territory. You can study the topography of a mountain for a lifetime, memorizing every peak and every trail. But until you put your boots on the ground and start climbing, you are not a mountaineer. You are just a librarian of mountains. The hidden law is not something to understand. It is something to live, to breathe, to become. It requires you to metabolize this truth until it is no longer a theory in your head but a pulse in your veins. Understanding is just the first step on a journey that never ends. The danger of spiritual knowledge is that it can become a drug that soothes the ego, giving you a sense of superiority or comfort because you know how the universe works, even while your bank account remains empty. You must break this addiction to insight. Insight without application is merely entertainment. Your financial reality will begin to shift the moment you shift. Not when you learn more, not when circumstances change, but when you make the internal adjustment that alters your frequency. That moment could be now. This breath could be the one where everything transforms, where the old patterns finally release their grip and something new rushes in. This is the quantum leap often spoken of but rarely understood. It is not a leap of distance, but a leap of identity. It is the instant decision to stop identifying as the victim of your economy and start identifying as the architect of it. It happens in the blink of an eye, in the silence between thoughts. The world needs people who understand this law, not to hoard wealth, but to demonstrate what is possible when you align with abundance. There is a pervasive, toxic myth that spiritual purity requires poverty, or that money corrupts the soul. But this is a program designed to keep good people powerless. Money is an amplifier. If you are kind, money allows you to be kind on a massive scale. If you are generous, money gives your generosity reach. When you prosper, you give others permission to prosper. You become a cycle breaker. Think of your lineage. Think of the generations before you who lived in survival mode, who plowed fields or worked factories with their heads down, praying for a safety they never found. By mastering this law, you are not betraying their struggle. You are redeeming it. You are the one they were dreaming of. When you overflow, you naturally lift those around you. Your abundance becomes a shield and a ladder for your community. Your wealth is never just about you. It is about the ripple effect of your elevated frequency. You become a lighthouse. You don't need to run around saving ships. You just need to stand tall and shine, and the ships will find their way because of your light. However, be warned. As you step into this new frequency, you might feel resistance to what you have heard here. That is normal. Your old programming does not want to die. The ego is a survival mechanism, and to the ego, the unknown feels like death. It prefers a familiar hell to an unfamiliar heaven. It will tell you this is too simple, too good to be true, not for people like you. It will whisper ancient lies asking who you think you are, telling you that you will just lose it all anyway, or that you aren't smart enough. Recognize these voices not as the truth, but as the extinction burst of your old self. Like a toddler screaming loudest just before they fall asleep, your limiting beliefs will scream loudest just before they dissolve. These are the final protests of a paradigm that has kept you small. Do not fight them. Do not argue with them. Simply witness them with the detachment of a scientist observing a reaction. Thank these thoughts for trying to protect you, then step forward anyway. The invitation is to experiment. For the next 30 days, live as if the hidden law is real. Treat your life as a laboratory. Suspend your skepticism for just 1 month. You have spent years living by the laws of logic and struggle, so give the law of frequency just 30 days. Before your feet touch the floor, before you check your phone, before you let the world rush in, set your dial by spending 3 minutes feeling the emotion of gratitude, not for what you will get, but for what is already here. This primes your biological antenna to receive. Shift your attention toward abundance. Become ruthlessly selective about what you consume. Turn off the news that sells fear. Unfollow social media accounts that trigger envy or inadequacy. You cannot afford the luxury of a negative thought. Notice your emotions around money. Every time you open your wallet or log into your bank, observe the sensation in your body. If you feel contraction, pause, breathe, and reframe the moment. When you pay a bill, do so with a blessing, thanking the money for the service it provided and affirming that there is more where that came from, thus transforming the energy of the transaction from loss to circulation. Release attachment to specific outcomes. Take inspired action. Do something that your old self wouldn't do. Buy the slightly better coffee. Give a donation even if it's small. Invest in that course. Or send that bold email. The size of the action matters less than the energy behind it. You are proving to your subconscious that you trust the flow. Monitor what happens not just in your bank account, but in the opportunities that appear, the people who show up. The universe often speaks in synchronicities before it speaks in dollars. A chance meeting, a book falling off a shelf, a refund you didn't expect, or a sudden clarity of mind are the breadcrumbs leading you to the feast. Follow them. You are not being asked to believe blindly. You are being invited to test and verify. Blind faith can be shaken. Personal experience is unshakable. Once you taste the fruit of your own alignment, no skeptic can ever talk you out of it. The hidden law does not require faith. It requires application. It is a mechanical principle, like gravity or electricity. You don't need to believe in electricity to turn on a light switch. You just need to flip the switch. This text has shown you where the switch is. Now you must flip it. Apply these principles with consistency, and your life will provide all the evidence you need. It will happen gradually, then suddenly. You will wake up one day and realize you are no longer worried. You will realize that the heavy backpack of scarcity you've carried since childhood is gone. You will look at your life and see a reflection of the abundance you cultivated within. The universe is waiting to meet you at your new frequency. It has always been waiting. It has been holding your inheritance in escrow, waiting for the moment you stopped fighting and started flowing. It is not judging you for how long it took. It is only celebrating that you have finally arrived. If this truth has awakened something within you, do not stop here. Your transformation has only just begun. Walk boldly into this new life, for it is the one you were always meant to live. The hidden law is now yours to command. Go forth and prosper.